Is this odd narrative, do I call it trend, that has been going around this year? Well, not necessarily this year. I've been noticing it for a while, but it's becoming a lot more this year. It's almost like everybody is now complaining of sensitivity to niacinamide. In fact, people are now asking for non-niacinamide based products because apparently niacinamide tends to break them out. See, here's my 2 cents on this issue. Niacinamide is one of the mildest, most tolerable ingredients in the skincare world. And you can find it in almost anything. Your wash, your moisturizer, your sunscreen, your treatment, your actives, etc. And I like to think that the reason for this is because niacinamide works in a slightly different way from other depigmenting agents. So this is what I mean. If you want to treat your hyperpigmentation, there are basically 4 steps that you have to take to that effect. In fact, whatever routine that you have must have these 4 things for it to be effective enough to treat your hyperpigmentation. So number 1, you need to have ingredients in your routine that can actually reduce melanin production. Most ingredients like these that do this act by inhibiting tyrosinase activity. Now, when tyrosinase activity is hindered, melanin production is a lot slower. The second step in your depigmenting routine or protocol is to have ingredients in your routine that can actually reduce or at least stop melanin transfer. In this category, we have things like niacinamide and soy extracts. These two work by actually reducing melanin transfer. So they may not necessarily work by inhibiting tyrosinase activity or reducing melanin production, but they work by reducing melanin transfer. So even though melanin is being produced in your melanocytes, before it can move on to your keratinocytes, ingredients like niacinamide will stop it. The reason why ingredients like niacinamide is important is because even though melanin is being produced in your melanocytes, for it to become more visible in your skin, it has to transfer to your keratinocyte and then it becomes visible. And then of course the other 2 steps in the depigmenting routine that involves retinoids and exfoliants. Now back to niacinamide, I see people that use serums, creams, moisturizers, and then maybe they begin to break out, and even though the serum may contain a host of ingredients, they just zero in their mind on the fact that it must be the niacinamide they're breaking them out. The reason why I say this is odd is because most of the time the dose makes the poison, and sometimes it might not even be the dose, it might be the formulation. So certain people may not be able to tolerate 10% niacinamide in the annual TXA serum, but if they use TM Vita B3 source, their skin can't tolerate it. Even though both of these products contain 10% niacinamide each, one might break you out and one might not break you out. You may develop sensitivity to one and not the other. But then again, if you're sure that 10% niacinamide breaks you out, that is okay. At a 5% concentration, niacinamide is still effective. What I would advise is this: before you write off niacinamide as an evil or bad ingredient for your skin, try out different formulations and products first. If you find out that it's a percentage issue, maybe 10% is too much for you, then maybe stick to 5% or below. Sometimes it could just be that particular product, because you might use other products with niacinamide and you wouldn't see any sensitivity or notice any sensitivity. Sometimes it's even the other ingredients that are mixed in the product that could breaking you out. Sensitivity can even occur as a result of a layering technique. At the end of the day, these sort of issues are typically individualized. So don't be too quick to write off a product because it has niacinamide. And remember, when in doubt, start at a lower concentration. Hope this helps.